Hi everyone and welcome back. I know it's been about 3 weeks since my last video and just wanted to take a moment to explain why I have been away for a while. My husband and kids came to India for their vacation and having them here was such a joy. We were all so excited to spend time together and make the most of every moment. But as happy as it was, things became incredibly busy and hectic from the very beginning. Everything happened on such a short notice. Just a few days before, I received the announcement for my first practical exams. In fact, right after my husband and kids arrived, I had my first practical exam the very next day. Since the exams were being conducted in Kochi, we had to travel all the way there and then come back home again the next day. After returning, I finally felt a little relaxed and was looking forward to enjoying the holidays and creating an Eid vlog for all of you. But just one day before Eid, I received an email regarding my next practical exam. So once again, my focus shifted back to studying and preparations. The day after Eid, we had planned a family trip to Wild Planet, which is one of our favorite places to visit whenever we get the chance. We always have such an amazing time there. Unfortunately, while everyone was enjoying the trip, I was busy studying for my practical exams because the very next day after we returned, we had to travel to Cochin once again. Everything felt like a whirlwind. Between family time, traveling, exam preparations and practicals, my schedule was completely packed. In fact, I was so occupied that I didn't even manage to take a single picture with my parents during Eid, which honestly makes me a little sad now. But on the bright side, my practical exams are finally over, and I'm so relieved and happy that everything went well. Right now, my internship is still going on, but that will also be wrapping up within the maybe a week. So that's the story behind my absence and the delay in uploading videos. For the past few weeks, I decided to put my full focus on completing my course and giving my exams my best effort. And now that all of that is behind me, I'm excited to be back and share more videos with you all, and I hope there won't be any delay. I'll try my level best. It's monsoon season here, and we have been getting some really heavy rain lately. There's something so comforting about the rain, especially when you are spending time with family. Now, while my husband was away on his bachelor trip, which of course will happen every year when he comes for vacation, I decided to spend one day at my parents' house. I went there in the morning and stayed until after dinner before heading back home. My elder boys, Rehan and Arman, they had gone to my brother-in-law's house. They are in Calicut. So only me and Lian had come with my father to my parents' home. I thought it would be the perfect day to prepare a delicious biryani, beef biryani for lunch. My aunt and uncle were joining too. Thankfully, my younger sister-in-law and my mom had already done most of the preparation work for me. They had peeled the ginger and garlic, sliced the onion, and finished all the chopping. And honestly, cooking becomes so much easier when all the prep work is already done. And when it comes to making an authentic biryani, cooking on a traditional firewood stove is always the best choice. It gives a dish such an unique flavor and aroma that you simply can't replicate. For this particular biryani recipe, we don't saute the onions in the masala. Instead, we use only fried onions. Another little tip is to add a few curry leaves to the oil and ghee mixture. It gives the oil a wonderful flavor which enhances the taste of both the rice and the masala. Once the onions are nicely fried, keep the oil and ghee mixture aside because we'll be using it for both the masala and the rice later. Now let's start preparing the masala. Take the vessel in which you'll be making the entire biryani. Add some of the reserved oil and ghee mixture. Add tomatoes and cook them until they are soft and mushy. Next, add the crushed ginger, garlic and green chillies. Cook everything until the raw smell disappears. Then add a few curry leaves for extra flavor. Now add the beef and mix it well until the color changes. I'll mention all the ingredients and exact measurements in the description box. Once the beef changes color, add most of the fried onions, keeping a little aside for garnishing later. Add some salt and mix everything thoroughly. Now it's time to pressure cook the beef. There's no need to add any water at this stage because the beef will release enough moisture on its own. Close the cooker and cook on high flame until you get the first whistle. Then reduce the flame and continue cooking for another 15 to 17 minutes depending on the tenderness of the beef. Meanwhile, on the same stove, I placed another vessel to prepare ghee rice. I use the remaining oil and ghee mixture that we had kept aside earlier. If you feel the quantity isn't enough, you can always add a little more oil and ghee. Personally, I don't like using just ghee for biryani rice. Too much ghee can actually overpower the flavor. I find that a combination of ghee and oil gives the best result. Once the oil is hot, add the whole spices and let them release their aroma. Then add the sliced onions and saute for just a few seconds. Now add the washed and well-drained rice. For Malabar Biryani, I always recommend using kaima rice. It has such a wonderful aroma and flavor that makes a huge difference in the final dish. Yes, it's a little more expensive compared to the other varieties, but if you want that authentic Malabar biryani taste that never disappoints, kaima rice is definitely worth it. Roast the rice for a few minutes, then add double the quantity of hot water. I actually forgot to record the part where I had added a little crushed ginger, garlic and green chillies. Then goes some coriander leaves as well to the water. These small additions make the rice even more flavorful. At that moment, Leanne was feeling a little cranky and needed my attention, so I had to leave the kitchen for a while. I asked my mom to keep an eye on the rice and check whether it was cooked properly while I went to settle him. At this point, I completely forgot to switch on the camera. Lunch was getting a little late and everyone was getting a little hungry. So my focus shifted entirely to finishing the biryani rather than filming. But let me quickly explain what happened next. After the beef was pressure cooked, I transferred the beef masala back into the same biryani vessel and placed it once again on the firewood stove. Once the masala started boiling, I added turmeric powder, coriander powder and garam masala powder. Then I added plenty of fresh coriander leaves and a little vinegar. The vinegar gives a nice balance to the flavors and enhances the overall taste of the biryani. You can also add lemon juice instead. At this stage, make sure to check the salt and adjust if needed. Before layering the biryani, take out a little of the gravy and keep it aside in a small bowl. We'll be using that later while assembling the biryani. Once everything is ready, remove the vessel from the fire and gently spread the cooked rice over the beef masala. Make sure the rice is layered evenly across the surface. For the final layer, sprinkle some of the fried onions, fresh coriander leaves and the reserved beef gravy over the rice. Now it's time for the most important step, putting the biryani on dum. Cover the vessel tightly and place it back on low heat. Let it sit until the steam starts coming through and all the flavors come together. And finally, it's time to serve the biryani. The rice turned out so flavorful. The steam had thoroughly infused all the flavors into the rice and the aroma was absolutely incredible. Every grain was fragrant and perfectly cooked, making all the effort worthwhile. One thing I absolutely love about the season is the scenery after it rains. Whenever the rain stops, the fog slowly rolls in through the hills and the view outside becomes breathtakingly beautiful. Later that day, we decided to step out for a while. There's a hilltop restaurant that we usually visit whenever we are here, and most of the time we go there for dinner. But I've always wanted to see how the area looks during daytime. Even though it wasn't exactly daytime anymore, I asked my husband if he could go at least in the evening so I could finally enjoy the view before it got dark. And honestly, it was so beautiful. The hills, the mist, the greenery all around, and the cool weather made everything so peaceful and calming. We spent some time there, enjoyed a few snacks, took in the beautiful views, and then headed back home. I hope I can regularly upload videos from now on, although I still have a few tasks left to complete as a part of my course. Most of the major work is almost over. I'll be here until the first week of July, so let me see what more I can share with you all before I leave back to Oman. Thank you all so much for watching and for being patient and for always supporting me. Take care everyone. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.